All right, hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between TBCBM versus TGW. Well, first things I want to say, let's go ahead and get to the 2-minute mark of this game. Let's go ahead and put on, get to the 2-minute mark of this game. W3 booster is not working. I thought I cast this game before, realized I hadn't, so, trying to restart it here as we see a Necropolis. All right, so early Necropolis here by TBC. BM, instead of going for an additional Ziggurat. Interesting call, interesting choice. One ghoul back across here, and well, that Necropolis will expand more, will perhaps be able to put a Black Citadel here, or the Halls of the Dead here, putting in a little bit more pressure, expanding that zone. But that's always a little bit of a curious move whenever I see it. We are also looking at a later Altar of Elders, which means we are going to be going for a Tavern Hero. Fire Lord has been popular with Night Elf lately, as Tavern Heroes generally are a very strong choice for Night Elf just because of that early access to Moonwells. Those Moonwells mean that those Tavern Heroes, which are generally very mana intensive, are able to replenish their mana early and still be effective later on. Now, coming back around here, we can see a Wisp getting into a little bit of problems. There's a quick detonation there. Meanwhile, Archers, Ancient of War, attempting to clear out this Renegade Wizard creep camp. This is a 5-3-2 creep camp. There's a Lava Spawn, and in comes the Death Knight. All behind this, we can see there's that Necropolis. It is now done. We're at 22 over 30 supply, and TBCBM is now training up more and more ghouls as well. We don't see any sign of a tech to tier 2 yet, as well we saw that second Necropolis being placed down, which is a rather intensive or expensive building. Early on to this Renegade Wizard taking quite a bit of damage from that Archer. However, the Death Knight may be able to come across here. There's another Lightning Shield. There's one hit there. Is he going to be able to get the last? No, not able to get the last Forest Troll, as the Death Knight now looks to back away. All right. Death Knight looking to retreat back here. A little bit of damage. There's another Death Coil / attack. Death Knight continuing to gain more experience, shut down and delay TGW as TGW tries to tech to tier 2 and now may find himself a bit behind in Lumber as he's lost a couple of early Wisps. Now we are looking at a swarm of ghouls coming across here. There's that Necropolis tech to tier 2. And also getting the backpack upgrade at the same time. I don't know if this is some sort of new strategy trying to get that backpack upgrade. Normally, getting the backpack upgrade is not easily possible, as well. Once more, TBCBM getting a Death Coil last hit shot, stealing the necessary experience away from that Firelord. Firelord does benefit from a Ring of Regeneration, as we are now looking at the Tree of Life suffering a little bit of damage. All right, Tree of Life suffering damage. However, the Archers and those Lava Spawns making sure to make that Death Knight back away, turning it into a pincushion of damage, as the Tree of Life may try to make its way back over. Death Knight, I don't believe he got the experience on that kill. And meanwhile, he could have gotten the experience, as the ghouls are now coming across here. All right, the main base of TGW is in serious problems. There is no Ancient of War here. The production buildings are kind of lost. Tech to tier 2 is underway. We don't even see a Hunter's Hall yet, and the Ancient of War needs to try and root itself to try to crank out more units. TBCBM's very aggressive, heavy training of early ghouls could cause problems, as that Firelord now attempting to catch up to the ghoul ends up losing sight of him, and that ghoul is able to head back. All right, losing sight behind the trees, unable to chase. Firelord does pick up Boots of Speed now, which is incredibly important. Lava Spawns are doing still the splits, as we do have a Slippers of Agility being left behind. Firelord wants an easy kill on a ghoul. Will he find it? I believe he's going to be able to make up that distance. That's a lot of low hit point ghouls here. And what is the Firelord doing? The Firelord, remember, cannot see behind these trees. There is line of sight here. Those walls are actually preventing the Death Knight from seeing, the Death Knight from seeing up, and the Firelord from looking down. And with that, well, the Firelord gives up chase, not realizing how close he actually was to perhaps being able to creepjack the undead Death Knight. Now, tech to tier 2 is already done. We are now teching into tier 3. Backpack upgrade is done. Graveyard is done. Don't see a Lich yet, and we don't see a Slaughterhouse yet. All right, a Ritual Dagger used to try and heal up all of those ghouls there. And that forward Halls of the Dead position still a little bit unknown, as we see a Beastmaster as the second hero by TGW. All right, full Tavern heroes from the Night Elf. We're looking at a 4-Stroll High Priest still perhaps up on the high ground. No, the Rogue Wizard. Well, forgetting which creeps are onto this map. My apologies. As the Rock Golem now getting cleaned up once more. All right. Both sides creeping. Ziggurat now placed down. Blight here as well. Death Knight now at level 3. Tech to tier 2 is done. We see Altar of Darkness training up a Lich. Still no Slaughterhouse, as we are going to tier 3. Economically, TGW is nearing completion on this Entangled Goldmine. We're going to be looking at an Ancient of Wind here. We are getting another Ancient of Wind. We are not going for Ancient of Lore, interestingly enough. Tome of Knowledge, is it going to be lost to the line of sight? Yes, it will. TGW not actually going there, as Ancients of Wind, as they are completed, may be able to actually battle up against these gargoyles. Gargoyles are prioritizing flying units first, as well, the lava spawns want to take down some of those gargoyles. Gargoyles known to put in a lot of pressure once they are swarmed in mass, but this is only off of a single crypt right now. So I am not expecting mass gargoyles to try and swarm out the army. TGW gonna have a little bit of problems here. There's an Ancient of Wind suffering quite a bit of damage. Are we gonna see the Goblin Shredder perhaps try and engage here? Skeletal minions joining in, as both sides are fighting their way through. Firelord shows up, and is he going to be able to save one of these Ancients of Wind? It does not look like it, as we're looking at some damage. There's a Staff of Preservation saving the Goblin Shredder. Nicely done. Went to the Ancient of Wonders, picks up a Goblin Shredder. One Ancient of Wind is gone. The Goblin Shredder perhaps was the big takeaway there, as the Goblin Shredder is now, well, going to go ahead and harvest lumber back at home. Meanwhile, there is fighting all around the map here. Beastmaster now sitting at level 3. We are looking at some more Quill Beast, more damage. Frost Nova going down onto a 4-Stroll Berserker. One more shot. Are we going to see an explosion on that ghoul? No, we are not. Skeletal Minion going to get cleaned up here, as we're looking at a long line of Night Elf and, well, summoned units trying to actually last some pressure here. There's an explosion there. A Frost Nova going back onto the 4-Stroll Berserker, who is now looking to back away. All right, finishing off those Skeletal Minions there. Meanwhile, Hippogriff's going to go ahead and try to catch up to a Gargoyle. That Gargoyle's down to 20 hit points. The Hippogriff chasing after it, and the Gargoyle looks like it will be able to get away. Both speeds are very fast, apparently, as we see that Gargoyle, well, able to outrun still. One Lava Spawn getting cleaned up there. Lich there. Wand of Negation dispels two... well, this has 2 charges of Dispel here. We're going to see perhaps a Death Coil onto that Gargoyle. That Gargoyle, no, instead just regenerating hit points while on Blight. Spirit Tower, a Necropolis now being placed down. So a Black Citadel and 2 Necropolises going to be on the map here momentarily. Undead really opting to go for this odd Black Citadel positioning here, and I'm still unsure of what that particular strategy was for. All right, gonna go ahead and take down some more here. Firelord gonna perhaps go after a couple of easy shots and kills. One more archer shot in the back would take down that ghoul. No, that ghoul looks like he will be able to get away. Gargoyle back. Quill Beast, no, wants to finish it off. Does, in fact, get the kill there, and perhaps a little bit more fighting again. There goes one Hippogriff. We're looking at a little bit more damage. There goes a Gargoyle. He's taken down. Lava Spawn able to get in some splits. And, well, creeping right after being able to force your opponent to retreat. Good use of time as TGW clears up the remainder of this creep camp, getting level 4 on that Fire Lord and nearly level 4 on that Beastmaster. We are taking the Tree of Ages. We are going into Fairy Dragons as well. Fairy Dragons known to magic immune, and with that phase shift, very difficult to finish off. And I guess that's the one of the ways you deal with Death Knight, Death Coil, and Frost Nova. Train up a bunch of magic immune units and then just launch them at your opponent, hoping that they don't end up going Crypt Fiends. All right, Gargoyle right there. There's a Death Coil. That could be a problem as one Fairy Dragon's going to go ahead and finally phase shift. There's another phase shift there, but the Gargoyle is going to be able to easily win out on that fight. Well, nope, that Death Coil, follow-up Death Coil was just a little bit late. Death Knight still battling it through. New Fairy Dragon showing up to the party. More Fairy Dragons showing up here as well as the Gargoyle tries to get away and will be able to do that while at 26 hit points. Staff of Preservation for the save on the hero. Beastmaster sent back home as, well, one poor archer not going to be able to run back easily. Final attack in the back, finishing it off. Druids of the Talon are at the initiate training. They have magic damage, they have fairy fire, and that is about it. Gonna be odd to see, are the Druids of the Talon perhaps gonna actually try and challenge air by going into that crow form, being able to go take to the skies, perhaps have a little bit of that range against those gargoyles. The gargoyles, however, do deal very strong melee damage. Now remember, the Druids of the Talon, their anti-air attack was changed from magic damage to piercing, making them much more effective as an actual anti-air unit. All right, summoning up Beastmaster here. We're going to see some repairs underway. And, well, gargoyles are coming in from the back. This is a pure air battle here. Are we going to see some more damage? No, perhaps maybe even considering a panda as the third and final hero could be a strong choice. Gargoyles with, well, with fairy fire, and the Druids of the Talon do in fact go air mode. And perhaps what would be interesting if the Druids of the Talon, while in air mode, actually had had decent hit points, just like when Druids of the Claw are transformed into their bear counterpart. All right, Druids of the Talon, 27 to 33 range, 27 to 33 damage with range. So that gives a little bit of a damage there, but a big Frost Nova onto one Druid of the Talon, followed by another, followed by another. All three Druids of the Talon are now gone. Gargoyles now going to be unchallenged as the Quill Beast not going to be enough. Well, once it just gets one more attacked by that Lich. All right, little bit of healing. Obsidian Statue going back at it. Is the Fire Lord's Incinerate going to be effective enough at exploding and using that splash damage consistently to cause problems? That doesn't seem to be the case there. The Ziggurat, one Ziggurat was destroyed as the Druid of the Claw now going after some of these additional bears. Beastmaster sitting at 4, Fire Lord sitting at 4, and we are retreating back. A Goblin Sapper was in fact hired, and that Tome of Knowledge was picked up. That Goblin Sapper pretty much nowhere to go right now. All right, Ancient of War wandering off to the top right. We're looking at 39 supply compared to 48. Staff of Teleportation inbound. Keeper of the Grove, oddly enough, as the third hero. All right, so Keeper of the Grove with Orb of Venom and Entangle perhaps will be able to shut down some enemy units. Perhaps I would have thought going after the Forest Troll High Priest would have made more sense. Goblin Sapper taking a shockwave damage, nearly destroyed, needs to back away as the Ancient of War, now down to 191 hit points, has to be careful as well. Ogre Lord finally going to get taken down. Medallion of Courage, Druid of the Claw with that bash, finishing up some other things as TGW takes an Expo over here to the top right. Top right Expo. Ancient of War going to heal up. Druids of the Talon have mastery training, so the threat of Cyclone now also on the table as we're looking at, well, Necromancers on the table as well. Death Knight gets up to level 5. So Necromancers, Necromancers generally not very strong against air units. This is an interesting spot that I've never considered. Druids of the Talon, or air units, do not leave corpses. I know that obviously. Now, Druids of the Talon are naturally not very strong against those necromancers, but a weird way to play this is that the Druids of the Talon can go into their air form and deny corpses, and by denying corpses, weaken these necromancers. This is a weird spot to consider all of this. Well, there's one necromancer going down while in druid form. Another's going to get taken down. Skeletal minions are going to be popping back up here. Just simply too many gargoyles in the air. Staff of Preservation for the save on the Keeper of the Grove, as the gargoyles are just absolutely owning this battle. Meanwhile, there's plenty of Druids of Talon on the ground here. Druids of Talon now just getting cleaned up by those gargoyles and that piercing damage against the ground, even though it is shorter range. Gargoyles are taking bonus damage, but nothing compared to the bonus damage the gargoyles are dealing back to these Druids of the Talon for their supply. Piercing damage versus magic. Undead pushing out across with the 64 over 70. Meanwhile, 50 over 70 there. 14 gold a second compared to 20 gold a second. There goes a Death Coil on to a Druid of the Talon in well, mastery. Well, I would say crow form, because it master Druids of the Talon doesn't allow you to transform into the crows. It's actually adept form. So a little bit strange whenever you think like master bears. Well, this is adept crows would be the appropriate analogy. All right, bunch of skeletal minions off to the side here. Hippogriffs now with roar. That roar will deal 15 or 20%, 25% bonus damage. Druids of the Talon also with that range. The hippogriffs are in the air, acting as a little bit of a tank for the front, and the gargoyles are now completely getting owned down. Now, the Druids of the Talon continuing to poke their way through, and this is just going to be a turn of the tide right here as the gargoyles are getting cleaned up. Now, level 5 on that Fire Lord, level 5 on that Death Knight. Lich sitting at level 4. Beastmaster just shy of level 5. Fire Lord going to try to clean up the remainder of this creep camp as the Keeper of the Grove gets to level 2 and goes for Thorns Aura. Level 2 Thorns Aura means that the gargoyles, who are known for their melee damage in air, suddenly have to worry about, about that damage getting reflected back. Oh, also the Fire Lord's explosion damage, there was a detonation that could cause problems when you consider the skeletal minions and the skeletal mages. A go-wide, low hit point army is going to be easily dealt with by a Fire Lord and that Incinerate. Coming back around, there goes a meat wagon again, and suddenly the strong push of TBCBM falls flat as TGW comes out ahead in terms of the supply lead. Both sides are going to be riding up on 3 bases, with the main bases about, 3 minutes of mining left. Interesting spot to be in after all of this. All right, Druid of the Claw going to try and perhaps get into position here. Druids of the Claw have nothing to really attack, or Druids of the Talon have nothing really to attack while in that crow form. Cannot hit ground, as we are looking at some skeletal minions and mages getting summoned up here. Keeper of the Grove does have that Orb of Venom, going to be able to deal quite a bit. There's some detonations being brought on by the Wisp. Fire Lord sitting at level 5. Beastmaster now gets to level 5. Dives in straight up onto that meat wagon for the kill, as the Death Knight could be in trouble. Death Knight now down to 220 hit points. Going to back away. That Black Citadel in that frontline spot, able to absorb or deal quite a bit of damage, as the Obsidian statues are still back here. Goblin Shredder, the Druids of the Claw, or Druids of the Talon, perhaps should go into crow form or druid form to finish off the Goblin Shredder, or perhaps finish off some of these other units. Meanwhile, down to the south here, bears, crippled bears now could be in some serious trouble. The Necromancer switching things back around, saying, you know what, I'm just going to cripple you. And suddenly, 8 supply of bears going to be, 4 supply of bears going to be taken down, 1 sent back home. All right, these Druids of the Talon, need to get back into their druid form. They are pretty much not helping anyone at all while in the air. The Hippogriffs are enough of a challenge there, as we see a couple of Death Coils trying to save. Lich could be in trouble. Does have an Invul Potion, though. Is he going to be able to back away? It looks like he's down to 121 hit points, and there's that Death Coil for the save. Druids of the Talon still up in the air again, going after the Death Knight. Death Knight forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal. Meat Wagon going to get destroyed. No, Scroll of Town Portal back across this side. anti-magic potion on the Keeper of the Grove, and both sides still fighting their way through and suddenly rotating into 2 Fairy Dragons. Alright, so now with Fairy Dragons in play, and they're actually in that Mana Flare mode, Necromancers are going to get absolutely destroyed in a matter of seconds. Meanwhile, though, the Meat Wagons are destroying the Dryads, causing them to go splat. So we are just trying to constantly counter the other player's counter, and then we're just seeing these rotating units, rotating selection of units. We need to start seeing some Hippogriffs out to start countering the Fairy Dragons, as the Fairy Dragons can only be attacked by the Lich right now, who perhaps maybe the Death Knight if he grabs an Orb of Corruption. Mana Flare is available still for these Fairy Dragons, who do have a bonus armor, and well, are able to cause problems for these Obsidian statues and these Necromancers. All right, 54 supply over 80. Firelord continuing to put this pressure. Low hit point Druid of the Claw could get, well, Staff to Preservation out right at the last minute. There's a Druid of the Claw in a bear form ready for the push, and this fight is still going on. Supply count 59 over 70 going up against 53 over 80. Who's going to come out on top? One Meat Wagon trying to retreat back away. One Raging Bear going to get destroyed, as the Beastmaster and Firelord still looking to push their way through. We could see Volcano and Stampede in this game at the rate this game is going, and that would make building destruction that much easier for the Night Elf army. All right, more, well, pop-up army here. Lich able to survive once again. Big 600 hit point Death Coil for the save. More Wisp being brought over. There's some more detonations as we are starting to slowly see some level ups onto those heroes. Scroll of Town Portal. Finally, the army says, you know what, we have had enough. We need to back away. All right, Druids of the Claw back in Druid form, going to heal up. Moonwells do have the upgraded Moonwell Blessing. Was actually surprised on a recent patch where these Moonwell, the Wellspring Blessing was nerfed or toned down just a little bit. It felt like players weren't using them enough in the or sometimes forgetting about it. And now that I'm seeing, now that there was the nerf, perhaps it was mentioned, and players were like, really? Did Blizzard really nerf it? Was that upgrade really that good? And now I'm starting to see more players use it, even though it wasn't as strong as it used to be. All right, Chimeras. Chimeras now getting ready to, waiting to be trained up here. So we're going to see a transition as well. Ancient of Wonder is going to be easily destroyed. We do have Nature's Blessing, so a little bit of additional armor. And finally, the Night Elf army shows up and says, you know what, I can come back across here. Oh, a big pop-up army right there. Are we going to see some detonations? Wisp right there. Is we going to see a detonation onto those units? No, we do not. The skeletal minions not getting nearly as many as I thought. There's some detonations trying to finish things off there, as the Keeper of the Grove now putting some damage onto that Death Knight. Death Knight taking some Orb of Venom damage over time. Lich trying to chase after that Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove could be in trouble, down to 300 hit points, but, well, the Death Knight and that Lich both losing large amounts of mana because of Wisp detonation and skeletal and Obsidian statue destruction. Down to 2 Obsidian statues here. There goes another Meat Wagon again. There's level 6 on the Firelord, and with level 6 on the Firelord now, well, all things are going, all bets are off in terms of base race destruction. Heroes are just going to get that much better, that much stronger. Dryad, oh, a lucky bash there. Necromancers could try and repair. One Raging Bear trying to get some damage onto that last Meat Wagon. Meat Wagon, is it going to end up getting, is it going to survive? No, unable to get the, it is going to be able to survive as the units were unable to dive in. All right, speaking about diving in, some easy splash damage could be enough. There's some more. That Firelord just auto-attacking like crazy, getting in large amounts of damage. There's a Staff of Preservation for a save there. Both sides are pushing through. Beastmaster trying to inch his way forward. There goes another Necromancer to explode. Druid of the Claw in Druid form. Death Coil, Frost Nova down as the units are retreating back again. All right, Druid of the Claw could be in trouble. Orb of Corruption removing quite a bit of armor. There's a Staff of Preservation and Ghoul Friend, or that Frenzy from the Necromancers, giving in additional attacks as well. Coming back through. Unit's going to retreat back. There goes another Acolyte, or another, I believe that was an Acolyte right there. All right, Chimeras are out on the battlefield. The Chimeras are going to be a perfect counter to these meat wagons and those obsidian statues. They move a little bit too slow. There's a bash. There's a destruction. There, I don't know if TBCBM actually spotted, excuse me, spotted the Chimeras. All right, 3 bases versus 3 bases here. Expansions have about 10 minutes of mining and only 3 minutes of mining left. The natural expansions, far expansions, are going to be a little bit of a different story. Still plenty of mining to go there as we reach the 25-minute mark of this game. Actually, that time's actually a little bit off. My bottom clock says it's actually the 26-minute mark of this game. Perhaps fast forwarding desyncs the clocks just a little bit. Scroll of Town Portal inbound. There's, well, I think we were trying to see a detonation there. And there we are. Here we go. The Chimeras are going to show up and say, you know what? I'm going to take down these meat wagons as quickly as possible. Wisp going to be coming in from the behind as the Beastmaster could go into, well, could go into a little bit more damage. Are we going to see some more damage? Oh, the Tree of Life taken down just as the Scroll of Town Portal whisks the units away. The Chimeras not fast enough in their attack speed to deal with those meat wagons. And now it is going to be, well, one base mining versus 2 for a little while. Even when this gold mine is finally done, this gold mine may not have enough time to entangle there. So, well, Undead has the opportunity to pull a little bit of a lead again. 72 over 70 supply. You remember that Tree of Life taken down and forcing Night Elf to be upside down on supply here. An army of summons, well, could easily just be devoured by the Destroyer. The Destroyer, however, not able to devour magic. The animation taking a little bit too long to get there. All right, finally able to devour magic. All right, in comes the units. Druids of the Talon in their crow form will be able to poke down the Destroyers. Destroyers don't have that big of a range, only 450 compared to 600. And well, it will come down to a bit of damage here. There's a cripple onto the Keeper of the Grove, being forced to retreat back. There's a rejuvenation now, and the Chimera is trying to take down these skeletal mages. Remember, the Chimera attack does not actually splash, as we're seeing, well, Volcano now being brought to the table, causing a bit of stunning. Meat wagons could get destroyed. There you have it. Meat wagons getting destroyed as well. A temporary Volcano stunning down units, forcing the Undead into a retreat pattern here. 58 supply now going up against 71. Night Elf still with the supply advantage. And what is this? The Beastmaster, if it tried to go for Stampede, if it stampedes this way, we could see a lot of these buildings and just a lot of it. There's the Stampede, but it's actually coming in the wrong direction. Oh my goodness. TGW stampeding in the wrong spot. He needed to stampede towards this side, towards the 4 o'clock spot. Instead, did the 3 o'clock spot. And you see there's lizards running here, not actually doing any real damage at all. This could have been this could be a tragic mistake if he's unable to close out this game at this spot, as he wouldn't have been able to press his advantage nearly as much. All right. Black Citadel about to get taken down here. Chimera with that fortified siege range damage, able to take down a building here. But yeah, a missed opportunity to deal more damage to the units and the buildings. All right, pushing on through again. Well, what? Whew, close call there by the for that bear. Druid of the Claw teleporting away right as the Necromancer's auto attack was barreling down towards him. All right, Keeper of the Grove continuing the fight. There's going to be some Orb of Venom damage. There's an Entangle. Potion of Invulnerability may be needed. No, Death Coil going to be for the save there as the units retreat back again. Firelord, Staff of Preservation save. Entangling of that gold mine completed. This gold mine gone. It is 2 bases versus 1, at least for the next 5 minutes, as the bottom left gold mine has about 13 minutes of mining left, and meanwhile this one has about 14. Oh my gosh, mental math is starting to fail me. Yeah, so yeah. Oh. coming back through. 46 over 100 supply going up against 49 over 80. TBCBM versus TGW. A strange game here. East versus West. All of the creep camps have already been cleared out. We have a level 7 Death Knight, level 6 Lich going up against a level 6 Firelord, level 6 Beastmaster, and a level 4, nearly level 5 Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove's Thorn Aura is making it impossible for Gargoyles to really be able to own the skies here. And, well, we'll see what's happening next. Well, Treants? Okay, so Treants also being summoned here. Level 2 Treants, level 1 Thorn's Aura, perhaps? Or was there a Tome of Retraining somewhere? Oh, Thorn's Aura was removed. Cyclone picking up the Lich. There goes one Druid of the Claw. Slow poison coupled with poison damage. Dryads, another Druid of the Claw about to get taken down. Oh, no. Destroyer able to be saved, but this is forcing an engagement here as the Lich was constantly up in the air. Scroll of Town Portal gonna go for the tactical retreat, and the tactical retreat sent them all the way back home. All right. Boneyard. Lumber is actually a bit of an issue, sitting on nearly 2,000 gold. Meanwhile, lumber not an issue for TGW, sitting on 3,000 lumber and 200 gold. All right. Well, whatever problem you have, Volcano, this expo could easily get destroyed here. And yeah, the Haunted Gold Mine quickly destroyed. Keeper of the Grove also gets to level 5 during this time here. And what a setback. Suddenly, TBCBM, who was hoping to win the economic game, well, finds a Volcano popping up right underneath his feet and seeing his expo loss. Scroll of Town Portal, tactical retreat. Where is he going? Perhaps going back to the top left. Oh, top right, realizing that his opponent is most likely there trying to be it. So a preemptive Scroll of Town Portal. However, the Druids of the Talon get straight up into the air and are now just going to get destroyed. Cyclone picking up some units. The Druid of the Talon, well, actually having a little bit of problems. We should not be in this fight here. The Skeletal Mage is going to be able to finish it off. And now no more Druids of the Talon at all. All right, we see Disease Cloud brought on by the Meat Wagon. That's going to be some lingering damage against those Dryads and those low hit point Druids of the Talon. No regeneration. The Treants could easily be destroyed as they are retreating once more. All right, Skeletal Mage now going to get taken down. Auto attack onto a Druid of the Talon, followed by a Frost Nova. Destroyer not going to be able to finish it off, but the units are retreating back once more. All right, Staff of Preservation saving a Druid of the Talon who doesn't drink from the Moonwells, oddly enough. And, well, getting ready for another engagement. 56 supply, 1 base, only 2 minutes of mining left for the Undead. Beastmaster going to go ahead and go into an engagement as well. Both sides still fighting through. Firelord going to go ahead and push on in. Lich going to, well, get entangled there. There's a Death Coil for the save once more. And units are going to try and retreat back. Druid of the Claw going to go ahead and put in pressure. Meat Wagons lobbing, getting in more Necromancers again. And here we are, here we go. Necromancers continuing to lob. That Disease Cloud is going to start itching away. But all of those Skeleton Mages completely, well, getting into problems once more. Firelord going to try to finish off the Lich. Lich gets another Death Coil again. So many big hit point heals as the Staff of Preservation goes for the save once again. There's another Staff of Preservation save. Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 5.25. Meanwhile, Tree of Life going up, has walked all the way over here, and now is attempting to take down this Haunted Gold Mine, and may be able to do exactly that. Also, what's going to be funny is the Firelord could Scroll of Town Portal to this tree, to this Haunted Gold Mine if necessary. He's going to try and root. He now has fortified armor. He's going to go ahead and entangle, further delaying the haunting of that gold mine until the Meat Wagons show up. All right, everyone's just buying a little bit of time. There's a Scroll of Town Portal there. All right, walking over to that Tree of Life. He's going to uproot, losing the siege armor, or losing the fortified armor, thereby taking less damage from the Meat Wagons. But at what cost? All right, there's a Scroll of Town, or there's another Volcano right there, putting in pressure, stunning down all of those units. Are they going to be able to retreat back fast enough? Meat Wagons getting lost. Staff of Preservation for the save. Firelord And the volcano is no longer useful as the Fire Lord now goes in for the chase. Fire Lord trying to go after some of these units. He may be able to start chaining these explosions and trying to finish off more units again. Keeper of the Grove sitting at 5.5. Beastmaster sitting at 7. And, well, he's just trying to delay the mining on the bottom left. If he can force this gold mine to run out, which he's gonna do right now, this could end up causing the undead to not be able to rebuild his army fast enough. All right, we're looking at mining on the top right. There's about 8 minutes of mining there. Meanwhile, Cyclone picking up the Death Knight here. We could be looking at a Devour Magic. No, just looking for the auto attack. Staff of Teleportation outbound for the Beastmaster. He's going to head off to the north, drop some items, pick them back up. Medallion of Courage, Intelligence Hero. Well, Beastmaster suddenly has a full range of mana and ready to move on in. All right. Oh, the southern mercenary camp was never destroyed. That would have been a good opportunity for the Keeper of the Grove earlier to get to level 5 before pushing out here. Destroyers, meat wagons, once more on the move. They're going to try and engage against each other. Death Knight now sitting at level 8, going up against all of these units here. All right, Tree of Eternity purposely uproots to avoid siege damage, only to find out that there's a large number of destroyers here for magic damage. The forest comes alive and is starting to fight back here as the necromancers and the meat wagons here. All right, there is another stampede here. Is the stampede? Yes, the stampede is starting to destroy some of this. Once more, the Beastmaster should have gone this way. You see all of these thunder lizards not actually hitting any targets as the forest is coming alive to try and clean up this corner here. All right. Obsidian statue is going to get destroyed. 30 over 90 supply. Death Knight could be in a little bit of trouble. There goes another destroyer again. We're going to see a Devour Magic onto a Cyclone to try to get that Death Knight out. And the units are in a tactical retreat again. Death Knight forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal to head away. 51 supply going up against 30 as the gold mine here finally haunted and getting a little bit back. Tree of Eternity could eat a tree. Ancient of Wind needs to eat a tree, make its way over. 129 gold, trying to train up more units as Druids of the Claw and a Dryad now getting trained up by TGW. An amazing game going back and forth. Still no clear winner yet as the blinking, raging Spirit Bear shows up to the party and says, I want you. All right, Destroyer down to 57 hit points. Wow. Death Coils continuing to find their targets at just the right moment as a Druid of the Talon about to get taken out. All right, Druid of the Talon, is he going to fall? Yes, he does. The Destroyer easily taking that there. Meanwhile, Druids of the Claw going to try and flank from the other side, but only to realize that the other units that were there trying to complete the flank have fallen away. Where's the Beastmaster? Firelord is here, continuing that pressure. Druid of the Claw about to get taken down. He does end up falling. No Staff of Preservation for the save as the lava spawns are still making their way over. Druid of the Claw in Druid form could end up getting a Death Coil Frost Nova. This could be bad news. Tries to get a Rejuvenation, and he's just going to end up falling. No. Staff of Preservation for the save right there. Death Knight now in trouble as he's trying to retreat back away. Death Coil onto the Firelord. Firelord falls at level 7. As are we going to perhaps see a Cyclone? Druid of the Talon getting in the way. The Spirit Bear, is he going to blink? Just blink onto that Death Knight. Blink, no. A little bit too far away. Necromancer right there. Lava units are all trying to engage. There's the Firelord. Firelord, there's going to be a little bit more damage. No, there is Death Pact right there. Raging, blinking Spirit Bear trying to get onto the Death Knight. Death Knight able to back away as the Firelord unable to close in the distance. All right, invulnerability onto the Firelord. Firelord down to 233 hit points. Units are retreating back again. And Undead seems to just have too large of a standing army. All right, lava spawns, however, cleaning up the remaining mining at that expo. So it is currently 1 base versus 0 as all 3 Night Elf heroes are alive. Moonwells, bone dry across the board. All right, nope, there are some Moonwells off to the north, but that may take a little bit of time and a dangerous proposition to try and run to heal. All right, Firelord. 242 hit points. That disease cloud, a definite issue. There's a little bit of additional mana. There's some lava spawns getting summoned up. 33 supply compared to 44. Standing armies, well, very different as the meat wagons are going to start lobbing over here to the top right. Tree of Life could have some bad news as the Ancients are now making their way back across here. All right. Still anyone's game as it's going to really come down to the wire. Oh, Spirit Raging Bear blinks to the back line trying to go after. There's Tranquility now being used, so the Druid of the Claw is going to be able to stay alive here. Units are retreating back, and Tranquility gotta be one of the best abilities in the game, useful both in and out of combat to keep your units alive. Keeper of the Grove, as long as there is moon mana in moon wells, and the Keeper of the Grove is most likely just going to convert all that mana from moon wells into mana onto the Keeper of the Grove, and then perhaps be able to outlast. We are in the situation in the game where mana is now the major resource in the game, as we're looking at more meat wagons getting finished off. They're going to see a Dryad getting, well, no, there's some Devour Magic, just trying to finish off some of these units, taking down some of these trailing units again. All right, Beastmaster should just get an attack onto that lone meat wagon. No, instead going straight after the Lich. Lich has an invul potion, gonna use it. And now both sides are still fighting their way through. Destroyers also low on hit points. Units are still trying to retreat back here. Druids of the Talon trying to dive in. There's a Frost Nova onto the Druids of the Talon, slowing them down. But we are still running around in circles here. 39 supply for the Night Elf. No easy way to spot what the Undead has. Undead losing a couple of early meat wagons as the Keeper of the Grove has made its way around and now back up to, well, full hit points, ready to survive. Death Knight could end up falling. No invul potion. No. Oh my gosh, Death Knight able to escape away at 148 hit points. Perhaps using a Death Pact to get just a little bit more hit points again and again. Obsidian Statues now trying to retreat off here. Keeper of the Grove now making its way back over. Keeper of the Grove wants to save some of that mana. There's a blink through the woods, and with that blink through the woods, perhaps going to be able to catch up to a Destroyer. Nope. Not going to be able to catch up to the Obsidian Statue, which was low on hit points. Now going to go instead after some of these other units here, perhaps able to get some damage. Firelord still has Boots of Speed. Going to go straight after that target there. There is a blink and still more damage to be had. All right, Night Elf seemingly coming back from the brink, now continuing to push. There's Tranquility, a little bit of healing, little bit of battling going on, and this is just a fight that they can kind of force. Why did that Keeper of the Grove actually stopped that Tranquility a little bit early? Keeper of the Grove should be engaging in the fight here. The auto attack with the poison needs to be added into this calculation as we're just trying to get as much damage as possible. Death Knight gets up to level 9. Level 9 Death Knight. Are we perhaps going to see the ultimate ability for the Death Knight actually come into play? These corpses could perhaps get a couple of Crypt Fiends down, but I don't believe they will have that web ability. All right, taking down a couple of Druids of the Talon there. More sides still fighting next to this graveyard, giving the Necromancers plenty of corpses to try and use up here as the Death Knight tries to go after the Keeper of the Grove with the Death Coil, but a Potion of Invulnerability used in time. Entangle onto the Death Knight. Death Knight now down to 200, 100. Death Pact trying to stay alive. Death Pact, a Destroyer, able to stay alive temporarily. Oh! Staff of Preservation for the save. Death Knight gets killed, and now it is a lone Lich. Spirit Bear still trying to get some damage here. There's a Cyclone onto the Lich. There, a Druid of the Talon could have some bad days, as that is gonna be the game. A beautiful game going back and forth between TBCBM and TGW. Yeah, absolutely amazing game here. Here are the final scores. 200,000 versus 177. Resource score TGW with more gold mined and more lumber, also higher tech. Overall hero levels, also higher hero levels, getting up to level 6 on his third and final hero. A great game here on Shallow Grave. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments below.